Welcome to Perfect-ish, where it's not about having perfect time management, but about perfecting your relationship with time. I'm your host, Callie Brigham, and every week we'll talk all things time and how to maximize it without burnout or guilt. Whether we're chatting with an expert or I'm sharing my 20 years of time management experience, you'll learn simple strategies to make every moment count. Here, it's all about getting close to perfect-ish. So let's synchronize our watches and dive in. Well, it's not every day on the Perfect-ish podcast that I get to welcome back one of my favorite people, one of your favorite people. We can tell by the analytics, I am not exaggerating. This girl today has been, I would just call her VIP. She's got it go. Yeah, she's got it going on. And she is the Christi Campbell, also known as Cece, also known as one of my besties, a Sharky, the Quad Squad, the Fab Five. We've got a lot of names for ourselves, but I know that you are thrilled. You, my listener friend, are thrilled to have her back in our space. Welcome. Repeat offender.
I'm so excited times two. I always like to be a repeat offender or called a VIP or the favorite. I don't know. Am I the first twofer?
You are not the first twofer, but you're the first best twofer that we've had in July of 2025.
Well, we'll lead off the summer just quite well with 2 times of fun and 2 times of pleasure. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy too. And we'll set the stage in just a minute for our conversation, but this is not an exaggeration that you and I chat every day.
I think it's become an everyday thing. I think it has.
It has become an everyday thing. And in this everyday, even though it's every day, it's still so significant. It's still so special because we never know where the conversation is going to go. And in that everyday conversation, we unlocked a topic that we're going to want to bring to everybody today. And by we, I mean you. This is one of your areas of expertise. I want to learn. So selfishly, I said, you're coming back. But Christi, before we go into that, there's another collaboration that you and I are part of that we want to invite everyone to be part of. Shall I go ahead and just get that?
Oh, I wish you would. I'm been itching for us to get our collab out.
Yeah. So speaking of twofer, we have 2 reasons that we are coming to you on this podcast episode today. The first is an exclusive invitation to an event that Christi and I have both been invited to participate in. It was an easy yes. It's called Escape to Alignment. Right about the time in the fall when you're thinking things like, I have been checking boxes, but my body just feels off, or my health is slipping through the cracks, or it's been a summer, my summer bod has had some fun. Well, guess what? This is going to be for you. If maybe you've been saying over the summer, I've been craving peace, but I don't even know if I would recognize it if it showed up. Maybe you've been saying, I've been building success, but I feel disconnected. I'm putting myself last. I've outgrown the version of myself, but I don't know what's next. Maybe, Christi, there's even someone who's been saying, I feel like I've been doing everything right, but my energy's not there. I'm not holding it together. Suffice it to say, the fall, the offering that we have for you for Escape to Alignment, October 6th through 9th, I believe is going to help to start to bring these things back to center, protecting your energy, giving you tips, giving you techniques and practices, tapping into some women and men that are aligned in the same way and want to give you their best in this area. So, Christi, you and I are one of the several speakers, and podcast listener friend, you're going to recognize some of the names on there. They've been guests. Many of them have already been guests, but there's going to be 4 days, Christi, and 4 pillars. And the 4 pillars are health, lifestyle, relationships, and business. And which pillar are you bringing your excellence to?
In the relationships pillar. And I'm super stoked about that. I do want to pause and just say, I'm obsessed with the title of this, Escape. Who doesn't want to escape something, whether it's to something or from something? And who doesn't want to align? Like there's all these, we can align in each of those four pillars. We can align with our relationships with self and others and the divine. We can align with our health. Sometimes it feels out of place. We can align with our business and we can align with our lifestyle. So, Kelly, which pillar do you have?
So I'm going to be under the business pillar. And I know this is going to be shocking, but I believe I've been asked to talk about time management. I hope there's something.
I'm in shocked. I'm in dismay.
I will dig deep and I will find something to talk about. Believe it or not, there's always something that I could talk about with time management. So what I'm looking forward to, Christi, of course, is giving what I've got, and I know you're looking forward to that too. But I'm also eager to learn from some of these other speakers.
100%.
Is we will put the link in the show notes. You can explore who these people are. Again, you're going to see some familiar faces if you're a listener of the show. And we just want to invite you. We want to invite you to join in. There are 3 different levels, Christi. The first level is free. So if you're just thinking, I want just quick 24-hour viewing window, I may not be able to watch live, but I definitely want in during that time period, you can absolutely sign up for free. There's an all access pass level that gives you lifetime session access and a digital workshop. And we already mentioned VIP. I mean, we kind of like VIP status. There is a VIP experience. You can get $200 off through the end of August. So you can make that decision. You get all the other things as well as a printed workbook, bonus content. You get live VIP Q&A later and some other gifts. So take your pick, but we want to be the ones to open the door, to open our hands, to open our hearts, and to say, please come join us in the fall when all of the summer rhythms are starting to feel like, okay, I'm ready to step into my next. I really believe that this is going to be that perfect timing. So, anything else you want to say? I know you're just as excited as I am about this. And like I said, everything, all the links will be in the show notes. You may be getting this podcast texted to you or emailed to you, right, Chris? Your whole yoga class, I know, is going to
That's
get
right.
this
I
podcast.
think so.
We want you
I
to
would just
join
say,
us.
escape with us, escape with us, escape with us, align with us, align with us, align with us. If there's always something that resonates with you as Callie talks or as we talk together, there's always something for you. So listen for that resonance. If it feels fun or energizing or aligning to you, just pick one of the 3 ways that you'd like to participate. There's going to be something there for you.
I love that. All right. So the second offering that we're bringing today, again, stems from this daily conversation that we have. And the conversations do absolutely go from up, down, all around. Sometimes the husbands and kids are listening. Most of the time they're not because I'm on my walk. And Christi, how I want to set this up is you know that I have a routine, a rhythm, if you will, on this walk of mine. And we even swap pictures of where we're messaging from. And on the walk, on the first part of the walk is when I do my work and proactive reach outs and communication. And on the way back is when I do my prayer. And as part of the prayer practice that I do, there is a moment that in my thankfulness that I do thank God for the breath in my lungs. I take a deep breath in and out, and I thank him for breath. And then, Christi, I also thank him for elbows. Because,
Elbows are important.
yes, one of my clients was talking to me about this, and she said, I not only thank God for my breath in my lungs, I thank him for my elbows. And I said, that's unusual. She said, well, she broke her elbow. And I don't know if you've ever injured your elbow, let alone broken it, but there's a lot that you need your elbow for. And she came to realize just how thankful she was for her elbows. So I decided I'm not going to wait till I have an elbow injury. And those are the 2 things among many that I thank God for: my breath and my elbows.
It's true. If you hit your funny bone, it sure is not funny.
It's
It
not
sure
funny.
is not funny.
It's not funny.
No.
So that's part of it. We're not going to go to the elbow piece anymore, other than now I have a feeling everyone will also be thanking God every day for their elbows.
Yep.
But I do want to talk about the breath piece.
Well,
I have
this is
no
exciting.
expertise on that, except for the moment that I take that one breath and I'm thankful, there is something that happens to me physiologically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and I know there's more to it. Christi, this is something you have invested time and education and your own intention to. Can we talk about the beauty of breathing and breath work today?
I think this is a delightful conversation. I would like to add a little breath of fresh air to this conversation for sure. And I think the fun thing about breath is we all are naturally experts at it. So if you're breathing, you're doing it right. You're doing it well. You have an inborn healing system within you that knows how to aliven itself and awaken itself. Now, there are some techniques that you can employ with your breath to cause you to shift quicker, to cause you to move into center, to cause you to feel more aligned, better, maybe is a way to say that. And so, breath, I feel like, has become not only something that we're expert in, but it's become trendy. Like we all want to learn how to breathe better. Like we see all of these people like, I hired a breath coach, or all of these things, or breath is becoming everywhere now. And it's because breath makes us feel better. And so if you can pay attention to the breath, we can feel better. So if you're curious about things like breath, usually there's about, in my experience, there's about 3 different entryways. And we'll just see which one we start with today. There's about 3 different entryways to why we want to pay attention to breath. And one is health, kind of like one of the pillars to escape to alignment. And how that weaves itself in with health is you can sleep better. You can regulate your heart rate. So breath is the only automatic system that we have that's both voluntary and involuntary. So digestion, heart rate, you can't control those things, although I'd like to sometimes control my digestion a little bit better. But breath is something that's both voluntary and involuntary. So you can begin to control it. So any control freaks on with us, you can control your breath. But when you learn to control your breath, it does affect your health. Your blood pressure lowers, your heart rate lowers, you sleep better, your cortisol lowers. So some people enter because they want to feel better with their physical health. So there's some physiological ramifications. Some people want to enter for emotional health. So this is kind of 1 and a half, all right? So typically speaking, not always, but typically speaking, we're chronic underbreathers. And what I mean by underbreathing is we trap our breath really shallowly. And so usually you'll see people lift their shoulders and lower their shoulders, lift their shoulders. They're breathing with their shoulders. And so anxiety is something that certainly is part of our culture. But if you're a chronic underbreather, now you're perpetuating what you're feeling. And so when you learn to bring the breath down lower and deepen your breath, you begin to feel better emotionally, feel better mentally. And so a lot of therapists teach breath technique because it changes your energetic state, your emotional state, your mental state. Okay. And so there's some techniques that I can certainly share if that's where we go today. But that's why we pay attention to it, because it can shift you faster. The second reason is high performance, because we want to affect our work. We want our work to be more productive. We want our work to have a better result. And I was just reading the other day that I'll say this and probably most people will laugh. There's no such thing as a 9 to 5 anymore. And I'm thinking if you're a woman or anyway, or a mom, there's never been such a thing as a 9 to 5. But in a contemporary work society, there's no much such thing as a 9 to 5. And so this article said that 57% of work now happens outside of 9 to 5. And so if we're dealing with a expanded margin of work, how do you know then how to increase your results? How do you know how to calm the nervous system? How do you know how to have a work-life balance? And if breath, something as simple and as free as breath can be the bridge for that, then I for sure would love to share more, or for sure we would love to learn more and experience more. Because if 57% of our life is happening in where we want the piece of our life, there's got to be some adjustments that we're going to want to make. And then the third reason is sometimes people want to explore breath because there's an entryway into their spiritual work and their spiritual life. And so those are the three major entries: health, physical, and mental, work performance, work-life balance, and your spiritual pathway. So where would you like to start today?
That is the most unfair question because I'm like, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If you're gonna make me pick,
Okay.
I'm going to cheat a little bit and
Woo!
say,
You're
yeah,
gonna cheat
yeah,
death. All right.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
my husband says every night. When you curl up to these pythons, you're gonna cheat death. I'm like, okay, honey. Okay.
Then you need to really breathe. Make sure you're
Breathe deep.
breathing, right?
Breathe deep.
Yeah.
Here we go. Going in.
Okay, because I want all of those things,
Okay.
Christi. But I, as let's see, where was it? Sound of Music, as she so aptly say, if you're gonna, start at the very beginning, it's a very good place to start. So let me ask you this. For someone that wants all of these things,
Okay.
but is a beginner in this mentality, as I was thinking, it is, for me, it's more involuntary. I don't pay that much attention to my breathing. And now that you're saying it, I'm actively aware that I know I'm not taking deep enough breaths. I know I'm not being intentional in it. So if I'm a beginner and I do want all of these benefits,
Okay.
how do I do I start physically or do I start mentally? Do I start once a day? Where would I start as a novice to this idea?
Okay. I would start. That's a really great question. And the good news is, once you start, they're no longer segmented. Once you start, you've now affected all three of those categories. So there's the cheat code right there. All right. So it's important that you start. And I would start simply by what you said is key. Actually, awareness is everything. They say in quantum physics that your observation of something changes the something. So the way you see something changes what you see. And so just the practice of just being aware of your breath causes you to change your breath. Like you just said, you're now aware of it. All right. So I would, anytime I start with breath, I just ask, we don't have to do this right here, but I would invite everybody to, once we click pause or click stop, take a pause and take your pulse rate. Okay. Time it for 15 seconds. Okay. We won't do this right here, but time yourself for 15 seconds, multiply that by 4. Okay. That's your resting heart rate. All right. Then just breathe for 2 minutes. Okay. Now, science says that you'll see a difference in 1 minute, but I'm an overachiever, so I say 2 minutes. Plus, we're talking about the twofer, so 2 minutes. All right. 2 minutes does something significant. 3 minutes actually does something even more significant, but we're going to pause at 2 and just breathe. And all I would want you to do during that time is just pay attention to which nostril the breath comes in, which nostril the breath goes out. Just, there's no right or wrong. Okay.
Do they not go in at the same time and come out at the same time?
They switch every 2 hours.
What? Wait, what?
Yep. So yeah, if you're really paying attention, you'll see it be more dominant on one side than the other. If you're really paying attention. And it doesn't matter, it's not right or wrong because it switches, which is why sometimes if you get a cold, one side is clogged and then suddenly the other side is clogged. Okay? So it's switching. Automatically, you don't have to worry about it. We're just paying attention and just brings your focus to one point of attention. Okay? And then take your
I feel
pulse
like
rate.
it's hard to host this show right now because I'm thinking about which nostril my air is
I'm sure
going.
everybody
Okay,
is too,
okay,
actually.
okay. I know.
And I'll get
I know.
super sciencey if you want super sciencey. I'm going to get super sciencey in a
Yeah,
second.
I like super
Okay.
science.
But take the 2 minutes of pause. Just take the 2 minutes. And again, you're an expert in your own breath. You're not doing it wrong. You don't have to worry about which side it's coming in. You're just bringing your awareness there and just getting curious. You say it all the time, we're not judges, we're scientists. Okay. So that's a Callie original. I just quoted her on her own podcast. So, and then take your pulse again. Another 15 seconds, multiply by 4. I can almost guarantee you your pulse rate's going to go down. Okay. Now, here's where this gets fun. There's a direct correlation between the pace of your breath and the pace of your thoughts. Direct correlation. So when you slow down the breath, and you're not intentionally slowing it down in those 2 minutes, but I can guarantee just because you're paying attention, you've slowed it down. All right. So not only have you decreased your heart rate, you've calmed your nervous system, and you've also slowed down your mind, which doesn't make you slower. It makes you more alert. It makes you more clear. It heightens your awareness. It brings you into focus. So if you're really wanting to affect your performance on something, breathe first. Okay. I was always taught anytime before a gymnastics routine, you breathe. They added visualization, which is a different kind of a technique, but breath calms you down. So it calms the nervous system. So you're decreasing the shallow breathing, you're increasing your presence in your moment, and then you begin to change your relationship with time itself. And that's what slips you into the spiritual component of it. And so then your relationship with the divine, however you're calling the divine, can deepen. Okay. So if we slip into yogi speak, prana is Sanskrit for breath. Pranayama is you're taught to manipulate your breath, so you're using restrictions around your breath. But prana in yoga is life force. Okay, so breath is your life force. Qi, if you're in Chinese or if you're in Qigong, Qi. If you're in the West, adrenals, okay? Or if you're a Christian, the Holy Spirit, okay? There's some that believe that breath is the Holy Spirit in tangible form. And so when you slow the breath and pay attention, now you have done all three of those things just by the art of bringing your awareness to one thing, your breath. And that's how you become a beginner and then begin to advance along the path by how you choose to restrict the breath, how you choose to pay attention to the breath, what you choose to add to the breath. So that's the next step.
I have a visual in my mind. I am going to nerd out just for a second, which I don't think you mind in the least.
No.
I am a documentary kind of girl, and I watched one not too long ago about free divers. So they are diving without oxygen, without tanks, without any of that. And they're going to the depths. They're seeing how far they can go. They're testing their limits in all of these areas, their high performance, their spiritual area, because mental, emotional, physical, you name it. And it's been so fascinating to me to watch them take their final breaths before they start to descend. And when I would imagine I'm getting ready to hold my breath for however many minutes, I think, naturally have that frantic breath, right? Like, I gotta get the last bit of oxygen in, but that's not what they do, nor is that how they look, right before, it is so calm. It is
Mm.
so measured. It
Mm-hmm.
is so from the depths of their body in which they're doing it, which allows them to eliminate any distraction, Christi, any outside noise, to be completely centered and to really tap into a whole nother side of what humans are able to tap into. It's not normal. It is divine. It really is divine. It is
Uh-huh.
supernatural is what they're doing. So I don't know why that's what that made me think, because I remember watching them and thinking it's so contrary to what I would imagine someone getting ready to do. But obviously, that is the key to it. So as you're starting to say this, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to take a deep dive into my health. I'm going to take a deep dive into my performance. I'm going to take a deep dive into my spiritual side. Why wouldn't I calm myself and my thoughts down? And that's what it made me think.
Well, that's the perfect place to take it, and that's the perfect place to go. And if you, to your point, what's fascinating to me is if you're going to embark on anything that's outside of yourself or that seems extremely challenging, what is it that they start with? It's always breath. I think about Lamaze classes. If you're going to give birth to a baby, you're taught how to breathe differently. If you're going to climb a mountain, you're taught how to breathe differently. If you're going to sink to somewhere where there's lower oxygen, you're taught how to breathe differently. If you are going to do yoga, you're taught how to breathe deeply. If you're going to heal an emotional wound, you're taught how to breathe differently. So breath is this bridge. So our entry points are for health, high performance, spiritual depth. But that's the what and the why we do it, because we want to become masterful of our own life force. And we want to master our life force. And so when you begin to learn how to consciously breathe deep, you're seeing what your life force is made of. You're knowing how to move with your life force. You're knowing how to harness your life force. You're knowing how to calm your life force. You're knowing how to, like I just said, harness and focus it. So breath really is sort of the bridge and kind of this magical free element that when you do a deep dive with it, it can heal a lot of these areas of our life. And usually most of us have just one entry point, but even just one entry point blesses all three. So when you learn to pause, slow down, and I say us, I'll speak for myself, high achievers like myself, the last thing they want to hear is slow down. Okay. But when you slow down, you deepen your awareness of your life force, however you call that, prana, chi, adrenals, Holy Spirit, whatever that is. And then once you have the knowledge of how to craft it, then you can dive deeper into it, let it out, or breathe it out, no pun intended, and then it become a blessing. And then your work becomes worship and not just hustle.
So good. So, Christi, we have started our little walk here, our little journey towards this, and we've taken our pulse. We've had a couple of minutes of breathing. We've noticed the nostrils. We have seen this heart rate decrease. Now, what? Is this something that we start to say, okay, are there certain times of day that
Ooh.
I start to implement this? Is there a trigger that happens? How do I, with that knowledge, then what do I do? Where do I go next?
Okay. I'm going to give you a couple places to go. All right. So, funny story, I hired a fairly expensive executive coach one time. Not knocking her. She was brilliant, actually, but I paid her a whole lot of money to tell her to have me breathe 3 times a day. I had to wear a little rubber band, and if I didn't breathe, I got to snap myself. But when I did breathe 3 times, I got to put it to a different wrist so I could track my breathing. All right. So the first step is just become aware of where you catch your breath, where you're holding your breath, and you're not allowing your breath to hold you. So the first step is just to become aware throughout the day of when you feel like you're doing this. or when you feel anxious, or when you feel lightheaded, or if you're not sleeping well, or if you're feeling a sense of tension. Just notice. They're not bad things to judge. You just need to notice this so you understand your rhythms of your day. Okay. The second step is, here's where I was going to get a little bit of sciencey, is to begin to incorporate some practices that might serve you. So I'm just going to give you like 3. Okay. The first, probably everybody knows this because it's been around forever, is box breathing. Box breathing is what's taught to the Marines. Box breathing is good because it focuses you and calms you at the same time. All right. So anytime, just for your scientific awareness, anytime you pause with your breath, you not only expand the lung capacity, but you slow the heart rate. Okay. And so if you're on a high stress scenario, you want the heart rate slowed. So box breathing is just like it sounds. You inhale for 4, you pause with the breath for 4, you exhale for 4, you pause with the breath for 4. So you're calming yourself and focusing yourself at the same time. So any younger listening, test taking, great. Any married people listening before a hefty marital conversation, box breathe. Or after, box breathe, all right? Actually, you can do some box breathing to eliminate some jet lag, okay? So there is some tools there for some breathing there, all right? So if you want a practice to employ in the moment, that's a good one, all right? The second practice is, or technique is probably a better word in this particular moment, is alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so here's where I was going to get a little nerdy before. So the right nostril is in charge of the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the part of you that you use to be actively alert. Okay, you want that activated if you're working. Okay, the parasympathetic nervous system is controlled by the left nostril, the left side. Okay, what happens is when the sympathetic nervous system is overactive, your body can't hit rest and digest. Okay, your body can't calm itself. Okay, so if you're, what's typically the technique is you plug the right nostril first, you inhale through the left, you plug the left, and you exhale out the right. And then you'll repeat. Okay, inhale through right, plug right, exhale left, inhale left. You got the drill. Okay, so that balances your brain, it calms your nervous system. It even can clean out your sinuses if you wanted to do that too, okay? But it brings your body into a state of homeostasis. And when your body is in a high state of homeostasis, it can begin, your natural internal doctor can begin to start to do its healing things, okay? The third and final one is 478. Okay, this is good to go use before you go to bed, okay? So some of these can be taken like supplements, all right? So you can use them as needed throughout the day after you've practiced being aware and you're like, oh, I'm aware that I get heightened in this certain scenario, or I'm aware that I can't come to calm in this certain scenario, okay? So box breathing, alternate nostril, 478 is basically your breath for those counts. So you'll inhale for 4, you pause for 7, you exhale for 8. The reason that works before bedtime is simply because, again, the heart rate needs to be at a certain place before you can fall asleep. With that paused long breath, the heart rate is slowing down. And anytime the exhale is longer than the inhale, you're calming, you're alerting the nervous system that you're ready for peaceful sleep, rest, moment, fill in the blank. So in general, you could always inhale for 4, exhale for 8. You can skip the pause if you'd like, all right? But in general, now you're signaling to your body that you're ready for rest. So those are the 3 techniques. So pick a technique is step 2, okay? And then step 3 is kind of your original question, Kelly, is begin to incorporate that as a practice in your life. And then times of day are to some degree irrelevant unless you're looking at, well, categories 1, 2, or 3, and you want to heal your heart physically or mentally. You want to deepen your spiritual practice. You want to begin to release some trapped emotions. Then you might want to add a breath practice in the morning or the evening. Morning, conscious, deep breathing brings you into the present moment. And when you can control your consciousness, you can control your day. And when you can control your day, you can control your life. And so how many times have you said to yourself, I've said it to myself many times, it's 2:00, where'd the day go? Where'd the day go? I just got started, where'd the day go? So if you can craft your relationship with time, what Callie's the expert at, in the morning, with the power of breath, you've created a bridge for your conscious mind to pave the pathway for the rest of your day to be smooth and easy. So a form of breath you could use there is what I call go before you go. So you imagine your day not going perfectly, but you imagine yourself moving with ease throughout your day. And then you notice you have more time, right? So breath becomes this great expander for your day, even for your time, even because now you're in abundance of time. You're fully in the present. You've collapsed time. You're fully in the present. So I would definitely recommend a breath practice in the morning. You can do as minimum as 2 minutes. You'll see the physical benefits. You can do as maximum as 20. Goal can be 30. My trainer said no less, no more than 30. So that's a thing to work for. All right. I'll come back there. I'm going to cubbyhole that for just a second. And then in the evening, you can add it back in the evening. Now, I will tell you from personal experience, your mind is going batty in the evening. What didn't I do? What do I still need to do? What didn't I do? What do I still need to do? Where did I mess up there? Forgot that. Didn't do that. Nailed that. Okay. Your mind is going all over the place. So it's going to take longer for you to calm your mind down. But breath is what calms it down. Just your awareness, tip of your nose, bring it there. And now you're beginning to slow your thoughts. That's for the woman or the man that says, my mind is always racing. Okay. So one little caveat, the cubby hole that I put in there, if you decide you're compelled to implement a practice morning or night, breath may be a great anchor for you. It might be the soothing songs of nature that you've been waiting for. It might also make you feel like you're crazy, okay? Because once you start to slow down, you're like, wow, I'm a mess, okay? I'm just a little mess. Now, I'm not going to open up that can of worms. I'm not going to speak that over you. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with you if that's something you experience, okay? You don't have to chase all those thoughts. One of my favorite people used to always say, you can let the birds swim around the nest. They don't have to have a nest in your head. You don't have to believe everything that you think, all right? You can just let them float, all right? But if breath isn't a strong enough anchor for you, you might want to add a word that feels sacred to you, or you might want to add a prayer that feels sacred to you, or you might want to add an image that feels sacred to you. That can also ground you deeper into your spiritual roots, okay, if that's an aim of yours. And it can also still calm the nervous system, because sometimes just sitting still, if you're not used to that, can actually cause the heart rate to go up a little bit, but adding another anchor to the breath can feel quite healing. So that is what I would offer for us in this moment.
Absolutely masterful. Christi, I also do want to thank you for recognizing that there might be some discomfort in some of this. There probably will be some discomfort in one or the other in the morning and the evening, and in attempting to really kind of move ourselves from a place that many of us have been our whole lives into this new discovery. So I thank you for that. And I almost feel like that we can welcome that feeling of discomfort and say, Christi, you told us this was going to happen. This is normal. Let me not use this as a stop sign. Let me use this as a, hey, this is probably something that has caused me to have maybe some challenges in my health
Mm,
and my spiritual and my performance. Let me continue through it. Maybe I do need another tool to help me through that, like you said. But I love that part too. And as you were talking a few episodes ago, I did an episode on that shake it off should not be trending, should not be trending, right? Because that's such a flippant way to just say, oh, just move past, just shake it off. And instead we talked about how to ground yourself in those moments and how to have something, a physical act or a word that you say or a mantra that you have or something that recenters you. So I just want to say I cannot wait to start doing this. And as I do, I could see myself, depending on what need I feel like I might have the most, actually placing my hand in
mm,
that area. So as I was thinking about that, I thought, if my heart is feeling a certain way, I think when I do my breathing, I want to put my hand on my heart. If my health or my anxiety or maybe to put my hand on my stomach or even to put my hand, if there are so many thoughts, just to start to also target where I feel the need in the moment. So I don't know if that's weird, but I think I'm going to add
no.
that to mine. Is that okay? Is
Oh, I think
that
what
okay,
I'd like,
boss?
oh, boss, calling each other boss. I love this. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit more, do I have 2 more seconds to be a little bit of woo woo?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're calling our awareness to, Kelly, which is so brilliant, is there's different pieces of us that come alive when we breathe deeply. So you pointed to your head, this is our sage. Like, this is the part of us that is our wise sage. This is our passionate part of us, our heart that drives us to do something meaningful with purpose in the world. This is our power center. And so this is our warrior. So there's different parts of it that breath can bring alive. And so in Chinese medicine, when you breathe deeply, they say that the lungs represent grief and joy. And so if you don't pause to breathe deeply, you're not allowing yourself to experience the fullness of life. Yes, grief, but also joy. And so, what a great reminder that when you pause to breathe deep, go ahead and put your hands on your ribs. Remind yourself that you're breathing deeply and well. Remind yourself that you're releasing all of that emotion through you, and that's healing. So, whether you laugh or cry, that's healing. There's nothing to apologize for. It's healing, it's grounding, it's centering, it's aligning. And thank you for pointing that out. So, absolutely be with your breath, be with the depth of you, the depth of your prana, your life force. Don't trap it, be with it.
And if necessary, you can hold your elbows if you need to, right,
And
Christi?
if
I
necessary,
don't know what that means exactly, but you can do
shift
that if you need
happens, right? So shift
to.
wherever you'd like with your
Wherever.
breath or massage. I'm finding myself now
I know,
massaging my
I'm holding
elbows.
mine too.
I'm holding my elbows, yes. What
Oh.
power center is this? This must be our Wonder Twin power. I don't know
This
what that
this there's a VIP power in there somewhere. I
is.
just
There's
know
right
it.
there, right there.
There's just a VIP. Christi, this has been just a beautiful both challenge, just because it's new, anything that's new, a challenge, and also something that is so innately us. There's nothing outside of us that we need for this. We have it all right there. We're already starting to do it intuitively. Now it's just taking it to this kind of magical, divine place. So thank you for giving us a gift that we already had. You're just, I guess you're just breathing it back into us and you're breathing it to life. You're bringing it to life. So thank you.
Little mouth, a little perfect-ish mouth to mouth.
So good. So good. And a little thump on the chest when we need it too. Like, come
Right.
on, come
Yes.
on, people. Come on.
Yes.
Christi, as we talked about, that breathing helps us to control our thoughts, helps us to control our day, helps us to control our destiny, helps us to control our time. Time is so valuable. And I want to know what you would do with your time. A bonus gift that's always given here on the show is the idea of this extra hour, this extra 60 minutes that you can do with whatever you want. In this moment and in today, because we've already been on before, let's see what you have to say today. What would you do with your extra
Well, we'll
hour?
have to go back and listen to the last one, but I think I said last time I would spend it with you. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. I'm curious about how many extra also people say that. I would spend it with you. But in this moment, I would slow down for an hour of breath, partly because that's what we just talked about, but I'm reminding myself of how good I feel when I just pay attention to the moment and sit in your enoughness for an hour, sit in your abundance for an hour, sit in your gratitude for an hour, sit in your community for an hour, sit in your what you're running from and to for an hour, and aha yourself to death, to joy. And what a gift of an hour that would be. That's what I would do.
Well, in that case, then I pray that this is a gift back to you as a reminder, as singing your song back to you that you have so freely given to us, that now within the next week or two, as always, is my prayer that you find that hour, that it feels sacred to you, that it feels true to you, and that it just shows you how much I appreciate your genius, your ability to want to share with the world what you've learned, what's made a difference for you. So I pray that would be reciprocal and it would come back to you as well. So thank you, friend. This has been delightful as always.
Breath of fresh air right here.
So good, friend. So good. All right. I know what I'm going to do tonight. I know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to figure out which nostril likes to lead, is what I'm for sure doing. Christi, so good, friend. And we're going to just keep this. Well, you and I will keep this going in our daily
Right.
walks and talks. But again, we want to invite everyone. If you like what you heard today, there's so much more of that in the Escape to Alignment. Go ahead and click the link in the show notes. Go ahead and register, whichever of those options feels best for you. We'll see you in October. And Christi, I'll talk to you tomorrow on my morning walk.
Amen. Happy good day, everybody. Such a joy to be with you.
Thanks, everyone. Till next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Perfect-ish Time Management Podcast. Let's keep the fun going. Follow me on social and join our Facebook community. And if you're ready for some one-on-one time management coaching to reach the top of your game without burnout or guilt, I'd love to chat. Book a free interest call using the link in the show notes or send me a DM. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a 5-star review and share it with a friend who's ready to master their time too. Remember, we're in this together, making real progress towards becoming perfect-ish.